Ready? Let's do it. Got a big black pickup. He's a rapping star. He flicks chickens. He sets a low bar. He thinks he's Jesus. See the watch he bought? He's big time crazy when he thinks he's not. He's a little bit la 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 la. A little bit Justin. Oh la 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 la. A little bit Justin. Hide your chickens, eggs are busting. He's a little bit Justin. He's a homo basher. He's an ageist too. Wishing cancer, heart attacks too. He hates old ladies. He's going to sue. He thinks he's Jesus. Come join his crew. Let's do it. He's a little bit la 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 la. A little bit Justin. La 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 la. A little bit Justin. La 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 la. A little bit Justin. Hide your chickens, eggs are busting. He's a little bit Justin. Ooh, a little bit Justin. Ooh, a little bit Justin. Okay, that's over, you guys. Yes, Genocide, it was a long introduction. Well, we're sort of waiting for the clouds to gather and, people to, be tuning in because, this is going to be a different kind of a show today, you guys. It's a little bit of a departure for the Grannies. So we're going to get rolling here. I'm going to bring on everybody's favorite UK correspondent, Maggie-of-England. Hey, Maggie.
Hey, Robin. Hey, everyone in chat, and happy Father's Day to you all.
Happy Father's Day to you all. Even, if y'all are looking out for somebody other than you, in that role of, love and protection and that happy Father's Day, happy fucking day to all of you. Yeah, everybody deserves a salute. Okay, you guys. Dragnet Silvas is joining us today. And the reason this show is a departure is because, we're not a reaction channel. We're just the Grannies. However, my favorite neighborhoods are reaction channels. Man, I'm so there. I am so there. I make cranky, snarky comments. It's the best fun ever because people leave themselves wide open for reactions, criticisms, assessments, viewpoints. If you're out there on YouTube, you're kind of asking for it. We're asking for it by being here,
And happy solstice to you, Reamsy.
And happy souls. Oh, we're going to talk about that too. Okay, without further ado, we're going to bring on our special guest here for Father's Day, Dragnet Silvas. Hi, Drag.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Hi, Drag. I thought I'd go for the Skittles look. How do you think I'm doing?
This is Maggie's Skittle.
Yeah. Now, on the Railway Children's Journey, someone had looked like black eyes and said it was the Skittles look to her chat.
Leave it up to Maggie to pull out some obscure.
Yeah, I think I was ripped off.
Maggie's very literal.
I waited for that bit for you, Robin. I knew you didn't get the first bit, but she said she had eyes like Skittles.
Yeah, what is it? A Jeffree Star palette? I don't
know. I just thought you look like you got black eyes, not Skittles. And when Faith had that, my granddaughter yesterday, well, I thought I can't help myself.
You just couldn't help yourself, Mags. Yeah. Okay. So really quick, greetings to folks in the chat. Who all's there? Genocide. Hey, John.
Hey, Genocide.
Faithful follower. Thank you so much for showing up, K-Ride Express. Yo,
Hey,
K-Ride Express. How's your praying mantis? Never mind. That's our safe word. Yeah, we have a safe word on the. Yeah. Praying mantis is our safe word. Reemsy in the chat. Reemsy, our friend Reemsy, the superior musician, is going to do a solstice concert.
Yeah, live
today. Live. It's going to be 5:00 Pacific Daylight Time. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's going to be 8:00 Eastern Time. Yeah, show up and get some really superior musical offerings. Reemsy is very cool. 6 Drops is over there in the chat.
Hi, darling.
Corey.
Hi,
Corey's
Corey.
in the chat. Hey, thanks for showing up. Yeah, am I missing it? April.
Hey, April.
April. Is that a new face? Is that a new?
Yeah.
Hi, April. Thanks for coming around.
I like this one. Let us eat cake. Hi.
Let us eat cake. Prairie Queen.
Hi,
guys,
Prairie Queen.
Thanks for showing. Okay, drag.
Yes, ma'am.
Drag. Okay, for the people who hang out with us, some of them are not anywhere you're familiar with, who some of us have been following for a while, and it's sort of, you can't help but look at a train wreck. And so, Dan, show me a good train wreck and I'll be there. Just, to gawk and be a spectator.
We did say we were like the curtain twitchers.
Yeah. I don't know what that meant, Maggie. But anyway,
that's what they call nosy old ladies over in England.
Oh, Mrs. Okay, we call it Mrs. Kravitz here. Yeah, but okay. So this is a Father's Day show, and there is someone that, and you guys, sometimes you just can't help it. There is somebody who is in the position of being a father. He's a boyfriend, and there are minor children involved. And he's given free rein to say anything he wants, do anything he wants, treat the children any way he wants. And boy, I'm sorry but for so long we all sort of stayed on the outskirts, just watching the train wreck, commenting. But now that we know more about what's been going on in this family situation, that's what we're doing today, you guys. Okay, so Drag, we have a clip, and do you want to do the background? Do you want to do the introduction? Because some of our people don't know what was going on here. The hit about having to leave the apartment being 20,000. Can you take that ball and run with it, Drag?
Right. So I always have to sort of preface any explanation to Shani and Rev for normal people, because somewhat well-adjusted, rational adults don't understand the thought process. And the best thing I can sort of say to preface is that these two don't have a grasp on reality. They live in a fantasy world where whatever they observe, they just sort of form opinions and ideas and notions, and then they just hold them, right? There's nothing to sort of disabuse them from very, very bad notions, very bad beliefs. So, a little bit of backstory. Rev's dad died very, pretty young, while Rev was, still very, very, very young himself. And so his mother did not take that very well. And so she ended up creating a bubble boy, if you get the reference. Sheltered Rev his entire life. And then when she died of cancer, she had set up quite a bit of money, almost $750,000 to him, so that he would be set for the rest of his life. So he sort of slipped into alcoholism and entertaining every conspiracy theory you could imagine. He became an acolyte of Alex Jones, and during the Obama administration, had made some comments that had gotten him 5150. So that's by his friends, personal friends of his, ended up calling the authorities because he was making comments about the president, about buying guns, and dots. So yes, that did happen to him, and he went on Alex Jones, and we have that audio and the video that
I didn't know that.
Yes. Oh, yeah. A lot of people don't know that. There's audio of him talking about it to Alex Jones. And so, yes,
wow.
this is publicly available. So that was a whole thing. During that time, he was speaking to the infamous Shanny for Christ. Shanny was married at the time to her second husband, Chris, to which she had been having an emotional and somewhat sexual relationship with Rev a long distance while her husband was.
It was like phone sex.
Yeah, phone sex and that sort of thing. There's even a video of her admitting that she had phone sex with Rev, to which he claims that he doesn't remember because of the alcoholism and yada. Chris, the second husband, has come out and said that he was fully aware, and they had actually discussed it at length at some point. So Chris was aware that she was doing this. And so progress forward. Chris ended up having enough of Shanny after years of manipulation, gaslighting, physical abuse, emotional abuse, and so he just said, "Screw it." There was an opportunity for some extramarital fun that he just said, "Fuck it." And
can't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Like at first I did, but I was like, after I understood the whole story, he stopped because he married her essentially so that she could get her kids back.
Because they had been, and she could not get them back unless she was in a stable environment, and that meant getting married.
Essentially, yes. And so he married her to help her get her kids back. They were boyfriend and girlfriend, but that was, that was just temporary.
So how long were they married? How long was he a dad to those kids?
Oh, Chris was a dad to the kids for about 6 years.
That's a long time for a little kid.
And that's so the biological father was abusive, he was druggy
and in prison.
And it's just it is a criminal now. But the only man that was in the boy's life that was a positive influence was the grandfather for a short period of time, but primarily it was Chris. And so Shanny decided that Chris didn't make enough money, and that she wanted to court a man who had tons of money. Because
she had the knowledge that Rev had an ass load of money.
Yes, and all of us at that time were aware. Rev would occasionally talk about his money, his fortune, albeit while he was under the influence, but he never made it a big production. But it was kind of like the open secret that people knew that he was loaded. And Shanny took that opportunity to swoon him at every opportunity, even publicly. And so with that, she finally coerced Rev to let her stay, and her and her kids stay with him. And then they all then moved to Colorado. And so Rev then took the position of being the boys' primary, I guess, breadwinner.
Okay, I want to jump in here. Also, there was a rant that Rev did to Shanny. He said he was like happy in his alcoholism, and he said she came back and pushed her way into his life. She showed up at his house and pushed her way in, and he said that he would always hate her for that. But then he changes and says, "Oh, Shanny's the most wonderful wife in the." He's just
I think there's a bit of truth in both of the narratives. I think that he was content in his alcoholism because there was a safety net of the money and the house, and
he could just drink himself to death. Why not let him do that? Geez, it'd have been peaceful. But then somebody, I don't know if it was you or one of the other channels, that said that Shanny had convinced Rev that the second coming of Christ was going to be in Colorado.
Yes.
And that's why they needed to get there, because she was a prophetess, and she spoke, she had the hotline to Jesus, and so that's why Why he went to Colorado?
So there's a few different storylines on the reason to move to Colorado. The prophetess one is one that crops up every so often, along with the "Hey, we're Archangel" storyline. But that was one of the reasons why, but it wasn't the primary reason. The primary reason was that Colorado has legalized marijuana. That's
the primary driving force of that.
Yeah, because when Shani first offered it publicly, she said we need to get out of Pennsylvania because there's a lot of influence. There's alcohol here, and so we need to get Rev away from this place, because it triggers his alcoholism. And it's like, well, you could move to a different county or like a dry county, right? If that were the real case, why would you need to move halfway across the United States for that? So we knew that was bullshit. And the second they said Colorado, like everyone already knew. Even before Shani said, then Shani started confirming that was a huge factor, and actually it was a primary factor for them moving there. But they did move there after they had stayed with in Rev's place for a few months, and they had gotten a residence, and it was a really decent apartment. It was a fraction of the price of the last apartment they were in, but they ended up getting evicted. A lot of people don't know this. They were evicted from that first apartment because of the domestic violence
in Colorado,
and he beating him and then getting subsequently arrested for it. So after that eviction, that's when they moved into the promenade,
the deluxe apartment in the sky.
Yes, and that's the video that we have, as well as her showing off her fancy luxury apartment, and so it's
$3,000 a month.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
What's funny though is that I pay about $1,000 less than that, and I have a better apartment, same size.
No,
I thought that was pretty funny when she was bragging about that.
Yeah, and they were so happy that they were granted permission to rent the apartment. Okay, so now they're in this apartment for what, 17 months?
Let's say 17, 18 months, because they stayed in Colorado for about 3.5 years. So, and that time is split between the first apartment and the second one.
Okay, so now the most recent apartment, I guess he paid many months in advance, cash.
That's what I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then they just coasted on that and didn't give another thought to maybe even paying further rent.
No, they don't really make long-term plans, and that's something I've noticed about.
Isn't that weird?
Shani and Rev. Everything is within maybe 2 or 3 months down the line. There's no 3-year, 5-year, or even 10-year plan at all. They knew that they were running out of money early 2020, a little bit before COVID actually.
No kidding.
Announced there were videos where they were saying, "Hey, we're getting low on money, so we're trying different things." But it was sort of a soft acknowledgement that
because they didn't want to spend thousands of dollars at a time on their dwelling. They wanted to use those thousands for entertainment and pleasures and so after his initial down payment on the time they were staying there, after that down payment ran out, then they got $20,000 in debt.
Yeah.
At this apartment. I can't imagine being so laissez-faire and about this. Okay, where I live, if you're late 3 days on rent, you get a little sticker on your door saying, "Okay, you got to pay up, or we're going to ask you to quit." Meaning, get the fuck out. So after 3 days, they probably got a notice. The next month, they probably got another notice. The next month after that, they probably got another notice, and they ignored it, and pretended like it wasn't happening.
Well, the timing, so it's actually a lot worse than that.
Really?
They acquired. I heard someone said it was $15,000, and it might be $15,000, might be $20,000 in debt on a credit card. That's not including the rent. Rent's separate. right? So they were actually running up credit cards before they received their first notice. What the reason they ended up having almost $21,000 in back rent is due to the moratorium. Colorado's governor, I can't remember the guy's name, issued a moratorium on evictions due to COVID.
Okay.
He had paid up into a certain point, like near I would say the beginning of this year is when Rev's, payments on the apartment stopped. And so Governor of Colorado says, hey, for the next 3 months, no one can be evicted. And then that was extended again for a little bit after that, after the initial 3 months. And that's how the $20K plus in back.
Oh, wow.
They did receive a notice. They did. And there's the video that I've shown and Frank has on his channel where Shanny's playing Animal Crossing. And so they left a notice saying, hey, you owe X amount of rent. And Shanny goes, oh, yeah, we'll figure it out. And then, of course, the pink slip, hey, y'all need to get the fuck out this weekend, was what, happened before the railroad tracks and the.
I think they finally got the notice that the sheriff was going to show up.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why they were under this time crunch.
Yes.
Okay, we got to get the fuck out.
To put it into perspective, I don't even see that kind of money in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Just their rent alone.
Yeah. Well, it was a deluxe apartment in the sky. Deluxe. Boy, their appliances were like what I've never owned before. Again, holy.
And then kids were like that. That, to me, is just unforgivable.
So this will segue into why we're here today, to celebrate Father's Day. Okay, so they have to get the hell out. And I try to be really kind in their chats, and I suggested many times, okay, U-Haul, here, U-Haul. And then somebody else said, no, all the U-Hauls are already rented. You have to reserve an event U-Haul. They could have taken all their stuff had they just spared a little, because from what I understand, for moving out and driving cross country, they had like $5,000 in donations when they started out. It hit them like an avalanche, those the enabler folks, but they could not rent a fucking U-Haul trailer. They could drive it there, leave it where they land, and then all the kids, the kids could have had all their toys. The little autistic son, all of his comfort animals were left behind.
He had nothing, though. No lights or anything what you encourage an autistic person to be attracted to. All the little gadgets and things. That had been first on my mind.
Well, for any normal person. So they take off on this road trip. They don't pack nearly a fraction of what they stuffed into black trash bags. They had no boxes. They had stuff into things. She even posted their packing days and stuff. So then they take off on this road trip. Okay, drag. They start out, and you want to give some highlights? Yeah, you want to talk about that road trip?
The road trip. I ended up not watching much past the infamous railroad tracks because
I haven't either.
So I will be reviewing it, but I have not actually watched much past that. And so the funny thing is the fact that, well, the only person that was driving was Rev, and like we all knew that. Like Shanny's not going to drive anywhere long distance, and she's going to take a side saddle to whatever's happening because of her fibro and her cancer, MS, everything else.
Oh yeah.
So one of the first things that people point out is like, hey, you can't be intoxicated or be influenced in anything while you're driving. And so of course he gets irate. I know that. Turns out they did actually stop and get edibles from one of the simpletons, as I call them, and other pieces of drug paraphernalia. So that's cool. But early on, they were trying to exit Colorado. I believe they were heading into Kansas. I think it was Kansas. And so Rev decides he doesn't want to listen to the GPS. And Fanny insists that her intuition is taking over and that she should listen to her intuition. And and that's when you knew things were going to go awry. So Rev makes a turn near a construction site under some overpasses, and it gets to the point where he's going under these underpasses, and it's like there's no actual road
on an access road. And what I think happened is that Shani was watching the GPS, and GPS will always give you a warning. Okay, the next exit, take the next exit, blah blah blah. Instead of taking that next exit, Rev took the immediate exit. And so that's how he got off on that frontage road and bumping, swerving, bumping, turn here, no turn here. And then they wound up really close to those railroad tracks.
Oh, incredibly close. And so I hadn't realized until someone had told me, because I think I was in Discord, it's like Rev is driving on railroad tracks. I mean, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
I was like, well, I drive across railroad tracks all the time when I'm going to go
across them.
My buddy Xavier, or I'm going to go to my favorite butcher. And she's no. You're talking going perpendicular across railroad tracks. They're parallel with train tracks. And I was like, what do you mean? And I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, he minus like a few inches over and he's on literally like on the train tracks. And I'm like, this guy is dumb. Like, do you not know that the gravel underneath there is unstable? Like, come on. It's
pitch your tires over there on the and Shani said, here's where his deficiency comes in. She said, okay, no, pull to the left, pull to the left. He pulled to the right and went boom, right on the tracks.
Yeah. Yes. And then
with all her disability, she was Superwoman all of a sudden.
Oh, she says she lifted the damn car. What she did was she got in back and leaned on it and he hit the gas. That's all it is. But she says she lifted the car. Come on, woman.
Now, as somebody who knows a guy who is 100% disabled, a lot of mental and physical disabilities, I find it hard to believe that someone who legitimately has these issues can do that, go outside, even just a little bump, right? That's hard in chronic pain to do. She's touting her victimhood as a supposed disabled woman, but also she's Superwoman so she's super disabled. I don't know. I don't get that, and maybe
I think
to me.
I think it's magic.
Oh yeah, it could be.
I think it's being anointed by the Lord and having these powers. Okay, so after the railroad tracks, Shani is just verklempt. She says, oh my heart, I can't breathe. And so the cops called an ambulance that took her in so she wouldn't have to deal with it. God, how convenient. Just claim the sickie and you'll be left out of the mix because you're sicky. But then she got out and they continued their road trip. I guess the cops showed Rev where the damn spare tire was. Now, I don't think he's ever seen a spare tire in his life. So
I don't think so.
Yeah, he could have just unloaded the car, changed the fucking tire himself. But
I don't think he's changed his tire in his life. I don't think there's an area where he's had to do that.
Yeah. How do you work the jack? Yeah. But so after this, then they continue on across Kansas.
Mm.
And they're humming along. She's talking about dumb
the skittle eye look.
The skittle eye look, yeah. And then Shani looks okay. The two boys. One boy is 14.
Yeah.
Little skinny wispy guy. Failure to thrive. Remember that phrase. And then they have she has an autistic child who's 12. He's the size of an 8-year-old. He's during this road trip, the autistic boy falls asleep. He's there sleeping, and he's supposed to be in charge of a cat. But the cat, while the kid was asleep, the cat crawled down on the floor. And there was a point where Shani just happened to look back to see her sleeping child. Okay, am I introducing this right, Drag?
That's what I understand. I didn't actually watch it live, but that's my understanding is that the youngest autistic boy was not securing the cat properly. And so he had to reacquire the cat. And so the cat was not reacquired and secured properly. And so that's sort of what sparked the fight. And then had to like pull over to the shoulder.
Yeah. And Shani woke the kid up out of, this is an autistic kid. Anyway. They didn't have the cats in carriers because at one point during their trip, the cats pooped in them. So they left them behind. So that's why they were free range in the car. And this little kid was in charge of it. So should we play the clip of this, Drag? Do you have it? Can you do a share screen?
Yeah, that was good. Let me get that. Just get it over here.
This is what happened when that little child fell asleep and the cat just crawled down on the floor to be all secure, you know.
Is that
hello to everybody?
Is that the link that you sent me earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There we go. And
Mudbrooker, we're not going to start over. Catch up. You see.
All right. Let me make sure. This one right here, right?
That's it.
All right. Go ahead and I think you have to click on it and bring it in.
Oh, add a string. Okay, here it is.
Oh my God, Gavin.
Oh no. He didn't. No.
No, honey, Gavin's okay.
The cat is Gavin.
Gavin okay? Honey, you need to get back on the highway.
I wanted to check on him.
Can we go park somewhere so we're not like in the middle of traffic? Can you fucking use your fucking head and get off the side of the goddamn road and go down and park somewhere smart?
Oh, fuck off. If he's okay, I can get back on. Get the cat on your lap, you fucking idiot!
Oh.
If he's on that floor again, you are getting your ass beat. You hear me?
Wait.
Piece of shit.
Jason William Egra. Stop this.
No, I won't. You're not a mother. You don't say anything. I'm so fucking sick of it.
I literally was saying something.
I'm sick of it. I'm trying to pull over to see if the cat's alive, dude.
You're insane.
You're an asshole.
Wow.
Go with your psycho. You have to.
You come near me like that again. You talk to me like that again.
Tired of having a woman that treats me this way. I'm sick of it.
Look how you're treating me.
I am sick of it.
Honey, I wouldn't be acting like this if you're not yelling and screaming and treating people like shit.
Fuck off and shut up.
How about you fuck off? Shut up.
I wish I could.
Whoa.
Yeah. It smacks you straight in the face all over again.
Well, never mind how he's treating the children.
No, just the cat.
The cat's what's important, not the kids. And the kids were never a priority in these people's lives at all. And that's the sad part. It really is.
Yeah.
That, it's, God, it's heartbreaking, and it's none of our business, at the end of the day, it's none of our fucking business. It's none of my business. But you know what? I'll be a meddling fucking old woman. I'll be Mrs. Kravitz because dang, that's
Them kids.
Here's what this show is about. It's about those children, and they don't know any different. And that's really sad. All they know is this chaotic life that they've had with this woman, and now with this excuse for a man. And they still defend her. You know, it's like Stockholm stuff. The kids will defend her because that's all they have. All
Right.
they have is her.
Yeah.
And she knows that, and that's why she uses them as meat shields. To come on and tell them I don't abuse you. Well, it's like for all of us who, I guess, have 2 brain cells, it's like, well, of course the kids are going to defend her. They don't know that. Right? Kids who have been abused their entire lives aren't going to know what abuse is.
Or what normal, whatever that is, treatment might be.
Exactly.
You know, a place to thrive, a place to be, a place to laugh. I wonder if those kids ever laugh.
I never heard them in the whole car journey. They were
Well,
quiet. That wasn't normal children behavior in a car. I'm sorry.
That road trip was so long. It's what took 3 days. They made 2 or 3 stops, and those kids were silent. They were like prison. You know, man, my kids wouldn't. My kids would be jabbering the whole way and playing games, and you know, I spy with my little eye.
Everything.
None of that went on. All there was Rev and Shani having their interaction because it was all about them.
But perhaps they couldn't even move because they got a house of black bags round them for a start.
Yeah, but bags and okay, so then they landed at Rev's uncle's house, and Rev, you know, and Drag, you're right. These people have no concept of the what happens next thing that grown-ups do. Okay, if I do this, it's gonna get, you know, the physics, the law of physics. As to, okay, what happens next? These people have never entertained that.
No, not ever.
You know, and you know, they have life dysmorphia. So after all of this horrific, this road trip ended, they pull up in Pennsylvania to Rev's uncle's house, and Rev has not even engaged the uncle ahead of time.
Yeah, that's my understanding. So he had told people that initially he told people before they even left that, yeah, I talked to my uncle. Yeah, he says that, you know, he's cool with us staying, yada, 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 yada. He just showed up. And so that doesn't surprise me in the least, because that's Rev. You know, there's no sense of consequence. There's no sense of accountability or responsibility within him, you know, to give someone the common courtesy, the decency to say, hey, you know, I'm just going to show up, right? Stuff's just going to happen. And he's leaning on other people's good nature to sort of rectify his behavior as a fuck up. And so we've been getting conflicting reports on sort of the arrangement that he ended up making with the uncle, as far as where they can and can't go, how long they can and can't stay. It's my understanding that the uncle gave them a few days to get their shit together and then get out. But it's been about 3 weeks now. So they're staying there indefinitely.
Yeah, and I'm sure they run guilt trips on the uncle. I'm sure they do. Oh, look, Shani is so sick. She's trying so hard. And I'm trying to get a job. Nobody will hire me. You know, he hasn't tried Walmart yet. He hasn't tried. But I'm sure he's playing on the uncle's, you know, sympathy bone. And I don't know. They're stretching it out as long as they can. Okay, I know that somebody in one of the neighborhoods has been in contact with the uncle, from what I understand, because I saw a screenshot of the messages, and the uncle said that, yeah, I'll give them a few days. They can't go upstairs. They're not allowed upstairs.
I did hear that. Yeah, I've not seen these screenshots. I've only been told that someone in some community did contact the uncle, and I would love to talk to that person.
I know, I can't remember who it is, but I saw the texts back and forth, and I think the uncle only responded twice. But you know, I think he's facing squatters
Yeah, that's what I was thinking straight away.
But I'm sure he's walking a tightrope. This is his flesh and blood. This is, this is family. Oh, and so one thing the uncle said was that he met Shani when she pushed her way into Rev's life. And he told Rev, because Rev says, I'm going to Colorado. I'm getting rid of the house. And his uncle said, don't bring her back here. She's not welcome.
Oh, also the uncle was aware. So that makes a lot of sense. As Shani was telling people when her first Instagram,
he liked her.
That he liked her and this, that, and the other. And I was like, that's a weird thing for Shani to say. Shani's not really concerned with other people liking her unless that person has clout, right? So they have some type of status on the internet. So the fact that she said that, I knew it was bullshit. But that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So here comes Rev pulling up with this the land whale and 2 children, and says, "Here we are." And so the uncle wasn't even finished packing up that house to get ready for sale. There are still probably some cherished memories in those boxes, and I'm wondering if they're going through them. And I wonder if the cats are peeing on the carpet, and I wonder if the kids are peeing on the carpet, because that's.
So I can say that that was one of the things someone did spotted in one of their lives. The statement by either Shani or Rick, I can't remember which, stating that the cats were peeing everywhere. So soft confirmation that the cats are doing what they did in their previous residence.
Yeah, and the boys too, because bless them, they haven't had training, they haven't had any oversight during their growing up. Like what mom doesn't change sheets for their kids?
A lazy one, only concerned with herself.
What? God, boy, when that crew went in to film that apartment that they left.
Oh, I've never seen anything like it in my life.
That was just, it took my breath. A 14-year-old boy with the same sheet for 17 months, you can tell. And, but then Shani went live and said, my boys change their sheets every week. No,
they don't. No, you don't get stains like that.
And you never taught them how to do it. And, that was just, and the stains, the stench. And the older boy who had the worst room, his bedroom was right off the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, and even Rev said to Shani, didn't you notice his bed when you'd walk by his room? Sometimes Rev is real honest.
Yeah.
A little too honest for her liking, but
for her liking. Yeah, she wants to kill him sometimes for his candor. But the older kid's room was right off the kitchen. She was doing that cooking, and they couldn't smell it. Well, they didn't smell the cat piss. There is nothing worse than aged cat piss.
Well, what about all that cat poo that was just dribbled all out over the box?
A cat box that hadn't been changed.
Everything. It's just. That's when I stopped watching.
I couldn't stop watching. I kept watching. I'm still watching. I'll probably click on Shani's Instagram or her, whatever that other platform is, just to see what she's doing. So there you have it. Happy Father's Day to all you dads who are dads.
And all you mums who are dads as well.
Anybody who has that role, happy day to you. You guys drag.
And everybody that's coming that we've missed.
And drag, I know.
We're having a great day. And cheers, Corey.
Cheers, Corey. Yeah, drag, I know you're a good dad. Because I'm this old lady grandma, and we've talked before, and you're a good. So what's the custom in your house? How is Father's Day being celebrated today in your house, Drag?
It's not being celebrated very much, honestly. I'm not too big on sort of gimmicky holidays, and to me that like this, I will actually go through the lanes to celebrate, because it's Mother's Day does mean a lot to my wife, and
stuff like that. Like for other people, I would do it. But for me, I really don't care. So right now,
my husband was the same. Are you a Sagittarius by any chance?
Yeah. Are you
My
a
husband's
Sag?
the same.
yeah, that's it's just I was like, you know what? It's just another day, honestly.
Yeah, and you probably get cards.
Yeah,
right.
I think
Happy
my wife is
Father's
making.
Day.
Well, I'm not too big on cards, and that's like little stuff like that. I appreciate the gestures, but I end up reading it and then I wait for the person to go away and then I throw it away because I don't like keeping stuff like that around. And it's not like personal. It's just I don't.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. But hey, I celebrate you, Drag. I know.
I appreciate it. I do like steak and blowjob day. I will say that. That is an actual day, and it's supposed to be the male Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Oh, what does a mother's get on Mother's Day then?
I just lost my shit.
I forget what day it is. Actually, let me look it up here.
Man, it doesn't matter. Make it any day, dude.
Every day.
Yeah, the first guy to put their feet on the floor in the morning calls it. Okay.
So it's, this year, next year, it's March 14th, 2022. So yeah, March 14th.
March 14th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Valentine's Day is February 14th. So March 14th is steak and blowjob day.
Okay, be there or be square.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll put you off with my Skittles, look.
Jeez. Okay.
I'll never get over that. She looked like she got two black eyes.
I never understand her makeup choices. I really like, I'm not a makeup person. My wife, she'll wear makeup every so often, when it's a special occasion. And I know women who wear makeup every day, but I just like whatever she thinks she's doing, I'm so confused.
I don't know either. And the canvas that she is using, is lumpy and bumpy and warty. So the only thing she has that isn't lumpy and bumpy and warty is her eyes. And she spent all those hundreds and hundreds of dollars on those makeup palettes. Well, shit, she's got to use them. So there's her little canvas. And so.
Yeah, okay. She's got the Rocky Hills and everything.
Yeah, it's like 40 miles a bad road, we used to say when I was little. That face. Okay, so seeing as how it's Father's Day, just really quickly, there is a fellow who is BFFs with Shani and Rev. Best friends forever, even though Shani is like this nasty ass who has propositioned G-Man, a staunch Christian, propositioned him live.
Yes, several times.
About here's what you can do with this lady part, and she was very graphic. Here's what you can do with these other lady parts, and she was very graphic. And then G-Man gives it a pass. I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't get it. Do you have any insight, Drag?
Yeah, so I'm actually in contact with a family friend of G-Man's, GP, Gentleman Pioneer. And so the G-Man relationship with Shani, Shani wants it to be sexual, quite clearly. G-Man is not interested in that, which I don't blame him. Yet Shani persists. He gives her a pass because he needs her for just expediency. Like she chose the line that he likes. And
he goes for the titillation of it, and the
titillation. Yeah. So he was definitely interested in her being in his corner for his online campaign against everyone who disagrees with him, who are inevitably atheists, even though many are Christian. So Shani will play part in that. And so he will look past her racism, her obvious sexual indiscretions. And it doesn't matter. Like, she could literally kill a kid and he would look past it. He did the same thing for Matthew Brown Bell, the guy in Scotland who got arrested a few years back. He doesn't care. The scruples that a lot of us have, he does not. And so that's what sort of makes him an interesting character, because he tries to portray himself online as someone that has strong moral fiber, when in fact the opposite is true.
God, and he's like a clown car guy. So he's hyper, he's all over the map. He has this boner for the atheist community, and he's not talking to me anytime, because I'm like a heathen. I don't identify with, atheism has its own dogma, and dogma gives me a headache. So I don't label myself anything. I'm just trying to be, acquire wisdom as an old white woman. So it's this big deal for G-Man to be at war with the atheist community. I don't think the atheist community gives a fuck.
They don't. And the people that he's trying to get the attention of, the Aaron Ross and the Matt Dillahunties, they don't care. And they've only recently, one of them reached out to me via text to ask, why is this guy still making videos about me? And I said, he just wants my attention. That's all. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, because G-Man wants to coerce me into telling these other big name non-believers that they should deal with it, when in fact they should continue to ignore him because he's irrelevant.
But he so wants to be in the mix. He wants to be a big player, and he's not. He's just a joke. But seeing as how it's Father's Day, I guess G-Man fucked somebody once and became a dad. He's a dad.
That's what we understand, that he at some point had sex with some woman and produced a child, and he confided in a woman he thought he could trust and told her this information, to which she happily told us after she was done scamming him that he refuses to get a formal job, like a 9-to-5, because he'll then have to pay child support, which again, those morals sort of don't seem to apply when it's inconvenient to him.
So, boy, that explains a whole lot.
It does, doesn't it?
About his existence and his livelihood, and boy, he's so fucking arrogant.
Oh yeah, that's the fun part. That is because I get charged with that a lot. That's fair. Some of that I play up just to piss people off, but there's part of my personality that I can acknowledge. But it's undeserved versus deserved arrogance. He's done nothing in his life worthy of arrogance, and that to me is sort of the best part.
Yeah. Okay, so for anybody who does not know who Drag is a veteran. Drag is a student. He's also a scientist. He has achieved what? Bachelor's so far? You're working on your master's?
Correct.
Okay, so this is, Drag is like this regular guy who's just working and doing.
Got a beautiful wife. He's got the best scruples I know of people that are online.
Scruples. Okay, that's a word. Scruples, standards, boundaries, brains. Come on, brains.
And he learned me how to use receipts.
You learned how to save receipts.
Yeah. Way back when.
Yeah, I mean that's funny that you mentioned that, because that's something that it's hard to sort of get used to keeping records of conversations you've had and things other people have said.
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's something that I didn't realize would be necessary because
No, me neither.
yeah, because it's like, I try to think that people are charitable, even if, we all have our different perceptions of things, but sometimes people are just absolutely dishonest. That is just a fact. I don't think there's a lot of people, but there's enough of them to whereas having something others can look at, a third party can sort of view, is in the best interest of everybody in order to get the real story. But then there's the more common case where people sort of become beholden to their own beliefs and they believe that their perception is reality. And so in order to give, again, the reality of the situation to third parties, it's best that you have something to defer to other than your own word.
Boy, YouTube is a trip, isn't it? Social media it is a trip, and we all, God, I get drawn into shit. What else do I have to do? I'm sort of retired. But damn. Okay. So Eileen Ebony in the chat says, how many of you have been blocked and shouted out by Shani and Rev?
I don't know. They usually get the channel taken down before I can blink.
I mean, I'm usually preemptively blocked by these folks. So
I know. Oh, that's the only time they ever plan ahead.
Yeah, that's it. Other than that, they're not going to plan shit. But yeah, no, they preemptively block me because it's not like I'm going to say anything, especially harsh to them. It's just that they know that when they talk to me, I'm thinking a few steps ahead. And so there's usually, and I'll be completely honest, the way that I do the content and I interact with them is a bit symbiotic. I know that they're going to lie to me. I know that they're going to lie to everyone. I already have them saying something and I want them to contradict themselves. So I'll just ask them about the thing that I already have evidence for. And I'll let them tell, and they can choose to lie to me and they can choose to confirm it. If they lie to me, that's content. If they tell the truth, then I go, oh, okay, well, you know what? That's at least consistent. And then I move on. But one of the edited videos that I had shown very recently, where you hear sort of a female computer voice talking, and then you hear Shani responding. That was me. That was me typing, and the computer voice would read it off, and Shani would respond. She didn't know it was me. But what I ended up doing, so Shani's really dumb. So she made a video towards me and then posted it on Facebook because that's what you do for someone who's supposedly stalking you. You make Facebook videos and tag them. And so she leveled all these claims that black stereotype this and smoking weed and I don't have a job, whatever. I went through that video and I took all the claims that she made about me and I went on her channel using that computer voice thing because it was through PlayStation. And I asked her if she had ever done anything about, and then I would make all the claims, I would just reference each one. And so then my video editor had the original video and then had a video of me asking her about those claims and then put them together. And that's why she's contradicting herself.
Wow. Boy, isn't this fun?
It is fun.
She does it in a heartbeat, though. Contradicts herself. She does it in a heartbeat. She's a part of it. I think that she just compulsively lies, and I don't think she can really help it.
Oh well, we've seen the interviews with her mom, and with her mom and dad. Shani's been a liar and a manipulator and looking for prey her entire life.
Absolutely,
she is still after prey. She sees every other human as prey of some sort. What can she get? How can she manipulate? How can she twist it? How can she get you roped in? But then sometimes it works for her. It has worked for her. And then it ends because people go, oh, fuck. They realize who she is and what she is and what she does. And so they leave her. She has no friends. None.
And it's weird for someone who claims that she has all these positive attributes to have no friends or even close friends, especially. She has none.
Close friends. And neither does Rev. Rev made this statement. Oh, I'm going to be back with my homies. I'm going to be back with all my friends from school. None of them have shown up.
No, that's always a red flag to me. Always, if you haven't got any friends.
If none of your tight homies show up
Yeah.
for you in support, there's, what's that?
It's funny he mentions that because I think these are the same friends that called the police that had him 5150. If I understand them correctly.
No.
Because those are his personal friends that did that. And I've heard him talk about that story before. And he says, oh, they betrayed him. And it's like, no, they were interested in his mental health. And they didn't want to see him go to prison forever for doing something crazy. And then he then sort of retcons it and says, well, they were after my money. That's why they did it. And I'm like, how would they have gotten your money if you were locked up? That makes no sense at all.
No sense at all. Okay, people in the chat. Okay, you guys, a lot of our friends have never heard of these people. This is what Maggie and I do in my spare time. I follow reaction channels and can't help it. So you guys have had the introduction to Shani and Rev, and these guys. It's everybody's main concern now. After all these years, the main concern now is those boys, those kids, and how they're going to end up. I have real concern about how these boys are going to end up, and if they're going to finally know what a real family life is about and what it's like to be kids. And the Zach, the little autistic kid, there are services, there are free services, there are workshops, there are so many resources for kids in the spectrum. I've been involved with that myself in my job. And I've offered Shani resources and I did it under a sock account. She blocked me.
She's not interested in any help, and that's primarily because, and I sort of figured this out recently. If you are close to the boys, then you can play part and witness her neglect. And Shani she's had those kids taken away long enough and frequently enough to where she understands that the more outside non-simp eyes are in her life, the more likely it is that she will get reported to CPS
because she will come under a microscope.
Absolutely. That's the last person is a family friend that cared for the boys, and so she doesn't want a repeat of that, and so she isn't going to accept help from anyone who finds her child neglect, unacceptable. And as sad as that is, that's the case, and it makes you really wonder what's wrong with her as a person, so that she's aware enough to sort of hide the abuse, but she doesn't care enough to actually do anything about the abuse.
It's not addressed because if it were to be addressed, she would have to kind of expose her neglect.
Exactly.
Oh shit. Okay, so Shani's gonna continue on. Shani's gonna be doing Shani, and we may never cover this again, you guys, but I'm gonna be watching Drag. I'm gonna hang out with you, and
I look over now and again, Drag. I understand your work, but I don't comment in chats very often.
Oh, no, I can't. Rather lurk. Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, and too, Maggie has a real busy off-screen life. A real. So I keep her updated, because she's my co-host and shit. But she's not a follower because she doesn't have that time to waste.
I do. After the Railway Children incident, I binge watched. Is it Frankie and Grace or Grace and Frankie?
Just to cleanse your palate. I know you need a palate cleanser.
Boob tube completely after that.
Yeah. Eileen Ebony says she enjoys Drag's work. Me too.
Yeah, I do. I have done from when we first met you on here, Drag.
Drag is a solid man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and he'll explain it to you with the receipts.
Yeah, I'd want to be in the foxhole with you, Drag. Gotta tell you, I would trust you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm an old white woman who is talking about being in a foxhole, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jericho D says my heart was in my mouth on their road trip. I know.
Yeah, it drew you in, and I couldn't escape it. I was like peeling potatoes, cooking, and I was,
watching that
causing self-harm.
It's hard to look away. It really is hard to look away.
It is.
I was just, and I thought, no, I've had enough now. When I saw your review on the what they left behind, that did me, because all I could think about them was them two boys.
Yeah.
The kids, until we saw that, the kids weren't, because she always said, don't talk about my kids. Are you a pedophile? You're talking about my kids. Are you a pedo?
Yeah. That's she normally says that to Holy Spackle, and she does that purposely in order to dissuade people from discussing the kids, because the more eyes are on the kids, the more people will acknowledge that
the more she's in trouble.
Yes.
And I'm
just
glad.
got the answer. I'm sorry, Wilson. To be fair, I said to Robin that Drag was our shirtless guy. Because he appeared without his shirt on last time.
Shirtless Mother Brooker is greater than shirtless.
No.
Yeah.
Shirtless Mother Brooker versus shirtless Dreadnought.
Have a shirt off. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to give a shout out to CW Chanter, who for the first time ever, he and Sam Shadow took off their shirts simultaneously in a chat. I have to give a shout out to CW Chanter because he said, okay, Father's Day isn't as big as Mother's Day. He says, fathers get crap. And I said, CW, I'll give you crap for Father's Day. And he says, okay, bring it on. Okay, so CW, I'm giving you crap for Father's Day, dear. Little shout out to CW. Hope your day's good, CW. My day has been awesome, but then I'm not a dad. Okay, so we've been on for an hour.
Way to go.
Okay, Mudbrooker is entirely naked. So that means you don't have pants? Mudbrooker?
Just stay away from your renovated stove, mate.
I know, don't get near fire.
And you're 100% right, Jericho D. 100%. I don't think nobody realised. He's just said before the video of the apartment and the road trip, you could only speculate as to how bad they really were.
Yeah, they did a good job of hiding it. You notice if you watch some of their old videos that when some people have archived them, you don't see them moving between rooms ever. You either see
they're always on that bed.
Yeah, so there's three positions. There was the downstairs office, from the first floor, the pink room, as she called it. Shani's office. There was the stairwell that they stayed in, and this was mostly during Christmas, and that's the stairwell where they found the blood, and they had the big fight during Christmas. And then of course the bedroom. Like those three rooms, you primarily saw up until the very end where they were doing the cooking streams, and you saw a fraction of the kitchen. You never really saw the whole kitchen. You saw certain pieces that they wanted you to see, because I think that if they would have shown the floor and some of the other stuff, because they watch everything, and they knew that people were looking at their environment. So how better else to hide the child abuse, right?
Yeah. Keep it focused on a little tiny area of your house. Nothing to see here. Just watch me making yellow food.
Yeah.
God, everything she made was yellow. Jesus.
Really? I'm about to go back.
Oh God, I followed her cooking show religiously, and I even commented. I gave her cooking tips. I'm very careful what I say so I don't get blocked.
Right.
You didn't ask her was she having a salad with whatever spaghetti thing she was making.
I always ask, okay, and what's the side dish? There was no yeah. God, I lost my thought. I was going to make a thought here. Okay, I've got to scroll up because somebody triggered a response that I was going to make, and now I can't fucking find it. No, well, I'm old, you guys. This is the Granny show. Shirtless. Mudbrooker says he's naked. Yeah, yeah. Reemsy, I'm sort of wearing clothes.
I'm naked under my clothes too, John aside.
There you go. It's the best way to be.
Yeah, I know. Okay, be patient with you.
I missed that bit, Jericho. Thank the heavens for that one.
The
one where she flashed herself in the kitchen while she was cooking.
Oh yeah, she was cooking with no knickers on. Oh yeah, when she got up.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, someone told me, and I had to. Okay, I regret this.
yeah. The OnlyFans did me on that one.
Crypt Rick has a question for Drag. Drag, do you know if they're keeping the uncle's place clean?
No.
I already know the answer.
No, and I really no. Go Drag.
They're definitely not. They've even admitted a few times that they need to clean up certain things, and someone said that they were upstairs when they weren't supposed to be, so they don't actually give a shit.
Yeah, Shani went upstairs and discovered Grandma's sewing kit.
Oh
so when Rev says, "Shani, can you fix that?" She says, "Yeah, upstairs there. Your grandma had a sewing kit. Yeah, I can fix anything. I can sew anything." She says, and also, does Drag know? Okay, I'm looking. Why don't they move in with G-Man? Exactly, Eileen. G-Man has that empty house that he's been working on.
People forget though is that house has some structural issues.
Yeah, it was ready to be condemned.
Yeah, I don't think that it was supposed to be condemned. I'm not sure if that was just talk from G-Man, but something tells me based on the pictures that I saw from G-Man's quote unquote repairs and some stuff people have been looking up. I don't think it's really fit for human habitation at the moment.
Yeah, and that's the house that Rev left. That's the one he had been living in, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. And I understand it has no electricity right now.
G-Man, he can't actually get electricity going. Part of it is definitely a money issue. I'm not sure if there's another issue outside of that.
He might be dragging his feet because I think Shani's putting pressure on him. Like he said, I don't know when I'm going to get back to visit Shani and Rev. I don't know. I'm real busy.
Well, it's a money issue. It is, they've even said G-Man's struggling financially.
There's one more thing before, we're over an hour. One more thing. Rev had referenced Shani was sitting out on the porch, in her big land whale glory, sitting on the porch where people can see her as they drove by in this first stage bleaching hair, this big woman gesturing on the front porch and while people were driving by, and she said, Rev, she says, "I love it here. The birds, the church bells. Oh, it's so wonderful." And then Rev says, "Well, yeah, this is different for you because you closed yourself up in one room."
Yeah.
In Colorado.
It's so funny to hear him offer the same bits of criticisms that that all the, trolls and haters and stuff offer, right? Because it feels weird agreeing with Rev, but every so often, it's like the little saying.
He can't help it. He'll have to tell the truth. Eileen says, love Rev's honesty. Rev doesn't mean to be honest.
It's incidental.
It just comes out of his mouth without going through his shanty filtered brain, and he'll just blurt shit. Yeah. God, I just sounded like Rev with that laugh. Okay, Drag, you have the most superior impression of Rev. You don't happen to have a clip of that we could show?
Yes, someone clipped. I didn't realize this until a few days ago, but I had done a parody of Rev, a parody that I usually just do with my wife when we're sort of making fun of them, and so I did it live, and then people enjoyed it so much. People took clips of it and put some music behind it. So I think it's on the channel Everything Nice. So let me see if I can bring that up.
That was, that clip that you did rolling around with the pillows stuck in your clothes and being that was the first time I knew how brilliant you were at parody. So this thing you did with her. Okay, so I need to bring this on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my, you guys, this is exactly Rev. And there's a spastic thing going on with him. I think, he hasn't been to the doctor. I think he needs a mini mental or some sort of anyway, this Drag captured it. I'm going to bring it on. Here it is.
It's a Gavin Kit Kat. His name is Gavin.
Oh
God.
He's a
boy. He's a boy. He's Gavin Kit Kats. Gavin Kit Kats. It's a boy. It's a boy. Gavin Kit Kats. It's a boy. It's a Gavin Kit Kats. It's a Gavin Kit Kats. It's a boy. It's a boy. Gavin Kit Kats. It's a boy. He's a good boy. It's a boy. Gavin Kit Kats. It's a cat.
Jesus.
So yeah, that's
there you have it. And that was not hyperbole. That was absolutely a dead-on impersonation of Rev talking about his cat. It's a boy. Gavin is a boy. Gavin is a boy.
Yeah, the way that I phrased it to my wife, I think it was a few weeks ago, was that I said there's something really weird about Rev and his relationship with the cats, and that maybe he's just sort of reached his mental limit on information, to whereas he can only state 3 facts about the cat, and the fact that it is a cat, the cat's name, and the sex of the cat.
And it's important. It's important. It's probably the guiding force of his existence. No, but God, Drag. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, okay, we're coming up on an hour and a half here. Drag. Dear man, number one, happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And do you have any final thoughts to close out the Granny Show?
I really wish Rev would stop trying to refer to himself as a father or a man or anything resembling any other label that those of us who can pee standing up would attack. It's insulting.
You just sent me the towel thing.
Like, Like he's such he's a caricature of some I don't know concept of what a man would be if I don't know a child drew him and then tried to describe what a man is. Like
yeah, third grade, a stick guy with yeah.
It's just I did a video if people are interested. Who is Rev News? And I might have to do an updated version because I know him a little bit better now. Like I know the depths of his bullshit, and so I'll probably do an updated, I guess, version of that video. But I think it was a 2-part video, and I filmed it sort of like I'm play a game and I'll just be talking and just sharing my thoughts. So I call them random musings.
Okay, do and drag any part of this show that or anything I've sent you. If you want to use it, you've got my permission. Let it be stated here. Boy, drag. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's my pleasure.
Because you know, when I found out about the treatment of those kids, man. I don't want to say it was like a call to action, but I'm going to be really paying attention to these people. And I know there are people working behind the scenes. Okay, I got to tell you, Drag. Okay, hang out after the show because I have something to tell you. Oh, okay, so we're going to end this. I'm going to do the outro. Again, Drag, thank you. For Happy Father's Day.
Pleasure.
And also shout out to Grampy Lobster. Grampy Lobster, Happy Father's Day, you motherfucker. Okay,
hey motherfucker. And it's Dragnet Silvas channel, Ebony. We need to put Drag's link in the chat. People are asking.
We'll put a link in the comments. You know how to watch drag. You know you can't go wrong hanging out with guys like this. You can't. No. Okay, so here's the outro. You guys see ya. Okay, so this is see you Wednesday for Maggie's
Take
show.
care, everyone. Much love and thanks again, Drag.
My pleasure.
See you. Bye.